Water is one of the most important substances on Earth. All plants and animals must have water to survive. If there is no water, there will be no life on Earth. Apart from drinking it to survive, people have many other uses for water. This includes cooking, washing their bodies, washing clothes, keeping house and communities clean. Directly or indirectly, water affects many things in our life. Without it, there will be no vegetation on land, no oxygen for animals to breathe, and the plants will look entirely different than it does today. Water is necessary to keep the people's body and the environment healthy and should be valued and protected as the precious resources. It is very important for us to make sure that the river or water supply in the earth is always clean. One of the biggest issues in Malaysia is the Kim Kim River issue. I believe most of us, especially the Malaysians, would have high concern on this issue. Today, we are going to discuss on the Kim Kim River issue, which is the pollution happening on the Kim Kim River.
Now let's look at the chronology of the Kim Kim issues river. Okay, actually, these issues already occur in 2019, March, and it happened again on 29th of July 2021. Okay, the head of the villagers in Bukit Pulai, Pasir Gudang, Mr. Zulkifli Kasim, stated that the resident here detect that the river is turning into blackish and looks like oil. One of the residents named Ahmad Ali stated that this is the worst that ever happens towards the Kim Kim River over the past 20 years. Before this, it is worse, but now it become worse, more worse because of the river cannot be smelled at all because it will cause dizziness and others health problems. Okay, let's look at the pictures of the Kim Kim rivers on July 2021. We can see here credits to the Berita Harian newspapers. Okay, we can see here that it's turning into very blackish and looks like a river of oil. Okay, let's look at the cause of pollutions and who is involved in these pollutions. Okay, State Health and Environment Committee Chairman Arvid Yananten stated that Environment Department, or called DOE, suspected this pollution was caused by the waste being dumped. The parties that involved is not stated at all, as the DOE chairman only said non-industrial building. He also said that the parties involved were told to stop all the maintenance works, and whoever that is who is deemed to be at fault will be punished according to the Environmental Quality Act 1974.
Next, I will present on the adverse effect of the pollution to human beings, especially to human health. There's a few adverse effects related to this issue. The first one is more than 2,000 of people were admitted to hospital because of the symptoms seen on them, such as vomiting, fainting, and shortness of breath, and many more. And around 4,000 of people who are affected by the chemical exposure during that time, which is in the case of 2019. Next, the school near Sungai Kim Kim, around 111 schools, were ordered to close, since many of students and also the teachers are affected by this chemical exposure. As we know that children are easily to get affected because of their lung surface is smaller than an adult. Hence, if someone who have a weak immune system, they have a higher chance of getting those symptoms. As a result, all the residents in near Sungai Kim Kim are responsible to wear masks for their safety in order to keep them protected from exposed to the chemical. As you know that being exposed to the chemical and hazardous substance can lead to various of illness such as cancer. And for your information, one of the chemical detected in the case of Sungai Kim Kim is benzene, and benzene is one of the substances that can cause cancer such as lung cancer. And the other illnesses like birth defect or abnormal in development and also infertility. Next, what are government actions? The federal government had approved an allocation of 8 million for the purification works, and 6.5 million were used to clean up 1.5 kilometers of the affected river. Malaysian Health Ministry also formed a medical team to examine a total of 6,000 victims. The reason why this action must be done is to determine if there are any long impact on the victims, since exposed to hazardous waste is a very danger to human health. As a conclusion, in 2019 case, 3 persons were arrested, which are two of them is director of the company, one Malaysian and the other one is Singaporean, and the last one is the lorry driver who are involved on dumping the chemical waste. They are arrested under Environmental Quality Act 1974.
This issue of Kim Kim River pollution shows a violation of environmental ethics. Environmental ethics is a branch of ethics that study the relation of human beings and the environment and how ethics play a role in this. It deals with right or wrong actions of mankind in respect of his surroundings. For example, water, air, land, and other species like flora and fauna. This component is a very important part of the world and are considered to be a functional part of human life that need to exist in a balanced state. However, if one is destroyed, then the other party will suffer, such as the dumping of toxic waste into the Kim Kim River not only threaten human life, but also to aquatic life and clean water sources. Having an awareness of the importance of the environment, the right to the environment was first raised at the Stockholm Conference in 1972. This right was included in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It was included in the constitutions of many countries in 1982. With this Rio Conference in 1992, the area covered by this right has expanded. In Malaysia, the Environmental Quality Act 1974 came into force on 15 April 1975, and since then, it has undergone several amendment processes.
We can define Islamic ethics as a set of universal standards of right or wrong that prescribes the acceptable or unacceptable human conduct, as highlighted in the Quran and shown by the exemplary life of Prophet Muhammad. From Islamic perspective, dumping toxic waste or chemicals directly into the river is such an unethical act. This is also due to human nature who likes to take it easy and do something without thinking about the risks that will come. This action has caused destruction to the aquatic life in the river. In the end, the dangerous chemicals have led to the health problems such as nausea, vomiting, and dizziness to the surrounding residents, and they require urgent treatment. In fact, they are in a high risk of cancers as they are exposed to polluted air due to chemical disposal. Kim toxic pollution occurred on 7 March 2019, and unfortunately, after 2 years, the Kim Kim River is once again polluted. Abu Hurairah, one of the Prophet Muhammad's companions, said, "The believer Muslim will not allow himself to be bitten by the snake twice from the same hole." Narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. The hadith clearly teach us that we must always be careful not to fall into the same problem twice. Unfortunately, the recent Pasir Gudang chemical pollution could be perceived as the opposite of what the hadith tried to teach us. It seems like we never learned our lesson. River pollution can lead to the air pollution, which eventually harms humans and other living creatures. Any form of damage to it is counted as an act of sin. We should understand that there is no benefit in destroying nature. So water is one of the natural resources and it is a blessing given by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Water is also used to ensure human survival. In the Quran, the word ma was mentioned 63 times. Ma is a word derived from Arabic which means water. This shows how important water to us, and we as humans are responsible to protect the nature. In the conclusion, there are lots of lessons we should learn from this issue. There is quote which says, "Mistakes are made, lessons are learned." Therefore, for every mistake we made, we must be able to learn something valuable from it. We should take the necessary actions to overcome it, as we desperately need further embedded actions to protect our environment, in order to have a better quality of life, not only for human but other living creatures as well. There will be more cases like Kim Kim River if we fail to protect the environment. So all the respective parties, the government, the communities, and individuals should be ethical, play their important roles and responsibilities in taking care of the environment.